for like the spread buster, it makes it fire 5 shots at once instead of 3. For the crusher, it makes its gravity well type attack stay on longer. For the homing missiles, it helps it track things better.
How much of a difference does it make? I mean, I think the thing I'm most interested in is the homing missiles, but I think in general, like how worth it is that stat to improve?
It kind of depends on the weapon. Like, for example, the crusher, very worth it. For the homing missiles, it's worth just 1 upgrade, because if you don't upgrade the special at all, it has barely any tracking on it at all. And then for other weapons, okay, so for like the vacuum arm, it helps its suction speed, so it's worth it if you're grinding a lot.
Ouch.
Like, it just kind of is a case-by-case basis thing. Well, I think we got the good pattern here. Well, the decent pattern, it looks like.
Here's a question for this island. What do you think the twins are doing while, like, a Sue is like at the home during the Rockman Dash 2 demo? Like, you know, like the one with the guy collecting the pigs, and well, the hilarious ending, the one with Mega Man kisses a pig.
I think the blue guy's gone. How we gonna rescue Shu? I guess we wait, or like something? You hunt some pigs? It's probably something like that.
I was wondering what the two are doing while, like, I mean, we're talking about the Japanese, like, demo.
That was uncanny, by the way.
Thank you. A very weird room. The sub-dungeons always felt to me like they were kind of added in at the last minute, because like they're all like straight hallways, strangely empty rooms sometimes, reused bosses. It's fine, but
I mean,
it's always a little bit of a letdown when you're coming from Legends 1 and it's expansive labyrinth
I don't
that you
mind
gradually
so much
unveil.
I don't mind so much the reused bosses when you consider that they are optional and totally missable. It would be cool if they were maybe reused bosses, but they had like slightly different mechanics. Like maybe they had I don't know, like an attack that works a little bit different or something.
Yeah, that would be cool, but alas. I think Legends 2, like, it's a mostly complete game, but there are certain moments where you see areas they would have refined if they'd had more time, especially towards the second half of the game, but of course they nailed all the important stuff. Speaking of nailing, guess what? The homing missiles can actually knock down and damage those guys, and like no other weapon can do that. It's weird. Oh man, I went into the wrong room. Again, it's hard to keep your bearings with these sub-dungeons because the enemy formations themselves are different.
For Legends 2, I think for me, I just can't get over how tight the gameplay feels.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
It really is. People love to goof on Legends for the tank controls, which I think even in Legends 1 and Misadventures of Tron Bonnet, it's still very, very fun, very playable, very enjoyable. But I think Legends 2, like, I earnestly don't think that there's anything to complain about with the controls in Legends 2. They feel so good to me.
Absolutely. Like, biggest criticism maybe is that it's sometimes hard to get the lock on to get onto the right enemy, but that's honestly, I think that makes it more interesting in some ways. So I Not even counting that as a complaint. Although, there is one moment in the final boss, like the very, very final boss, where I want to avoid using it as much as possible because one of her vocal cries are on the same audio track as the sort of blip, blip, blip sound that the lock-on does. So it can actually drown out some of her cries, which makes it harder to predict her attacks. I think that was fixed on PSP, but
that is so specific. Like it's
yeah, I know.
Like it occurs on the same like audio channel.
Exactly.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Especially, I forget, I feel like I looked it up once, and I feel like the PS1 supports kind of a lot of simultaneous audio tracks.
Like, it does. Like it's not a problem anywhere else in the game, just in that one specific boss fight.
I guess I'm trying to think because they probably have, like, most of Mega Man's audio is almost certainly has specific audio tracks it's assigned to, like things that would never play over each other are probably things that happen in the same audio track, but the sound of him locking on probably couldn't be grouped with anything else because that could play over almost anything else.
Free health, always good to have. And you always want to get behind this tank because its bullets are otherwise very hard to dodge. It tracks in on you very well. There we go. Now the hard part is over. We're just dealing with a bunch of stationary foes at this point. Go. Ouch.
They're just really throwing themselves into harm's way there.
Oh yeah. Well, they're kids. Get over there. Oh, you run away from me. Come on. That's partially to make him freeze, but also partially to get my karma in the right spot. Because there's a very slight karma penalty for shooting them. Not too bad, but
shooting children is slightly frowned upon.
Yeah. It's about on the same level as shooting those blue fish in the underwater ruins, or picking those pigs, you know? Go. Very polite of them to let you leave whenever you want.
And Data's nice enough to be there for refresh on your health and weapons.
Now you have to be careful not to shoot those 4 flying ships down before you shoot the stationary ships, because otherwise those stationary ships will fly up to replenish their ranks. And this is why we didn't go with the ground crawler, because it absolutely stinks at dealing with these things. You just lose way too much time. Even though it makes the hardest parts easier.
I always wonder what that tilted tower, though, in the middle of the Glide's fortress supposed to be. Is it one of those those stations that bring those 10,000 Reaverbot workers onto the island to do their wipe out the carbons?
I don't know. It does look. I mean, it's definitely ancient technology. It's got like the big circuits on it.
I don't know. What if it could be like one of those Eden stations itself?
There we go.
Crashed.
Excuse me, I think that's a door.
Able to open the gate with it.
Go. Ouch. Also, it's way better than the ground crawler for these guys.
Oh yeah, I would bet.
Trying to conserve my ammo a little bit, but I think I'm gonna need the Oh man, I didn't buy the hyper cartridge. Sheesh. Okay, that just means I'm gonna refill with data. Loses a tiny bit of time, but worth it. Yeah, I was supposed to get a hyper cartridge at the junk shop. 2000 zenny refills the blue section of your special weapon gauge. And also a special medicine bottle, which heals you of status ailments. But I'll just do it the next shopping trip. It's no big deal. Oh.
So you're not even max bad karma right now, are you?
Not quite. That won't come until I destroy the statue. By the way, did I get the fried chicken and accessory pack? Let me see.
You did. You did.
Okay, good,
Yes.
good. Gotta be paranoid about these things. There we go. Gotta get those guys down before I do this next strat. I think you'll love this.
I would never dream of
You
missing
through the
out on
walls?
fried chicken.
Absolutely.
What?
There we go. Nice safety strat.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Well,
Taking advantage
this
of the glitch.
section of the game is just so hard. You gotta use all the advantages you can get. Thank you, Roll.
I don't know why I love this area so much.
So dynamic.
The
got
the
the-
way it's laid out like a grid, it almost reminds me of like a Bomberman level or something.
Yeah. Like me personally, it's also an excellent showcase of the game's dynamic music where like there's like 5 variations of a single melody depending on where exactly you are. I'm just such a fan of stuff like that.
This game's got a really, really long track list.
Yes. There you go. Ugh. There.
I think there's even a few tracks that we technically don't have like clean versions of because they only exist as pre-recorded with dialogue playing over them.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the glide cutscene songs is like that, and the really pretty sad version of the Flutters theme that plays in one of the opening cutscenes. That one is also like that as well. That one I really wish we had a clean version of that one. I think it sounds really nice.
When the Roll is talking to Mega Man about
Yeah.
how it's painful.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's
that
get the
one.
repairs while we're thinking of that. And we're also gonna use the Hyper Shell, or Buster Cannon, which is normally completely useless on very hard, except for this one specific section. Like, I
Yeah,
honestly
fires.
didn't even need to switch to it. I'm just kind of showing it off for entertainment's sake. You'll see why.
Just like the Nino, like like the tower. There's some areas like the Glide's Fortress you can't be accessible after you save like Sue, which is a shame.
Do exactly 3 shots. If you try to do a 4th one, you'll accidentally bump into the parabola, which you're trying to protect. And
Just bumping
this is
into it.
another fight that's significantly harder on very hard because it suddenly takes a good long while to destroy each of these missiles. But fortunately, the Buster Cannon is just strong enough to one-shot each of these, even with halved damage.
Does bumping into the parabola hurt you or the parabola?
Parabola.
Parabola.
Yeah. And if she takes enough damage, the parabola will burst into flames, and the repairs will go much, much slower.
That's simply
There you
why it's time for roll.
I don't think I realized how fast the what is it, the active buster shoots.
Yeah, it's nice.
Bye-bye,
It's just
Glide.
that it doesn't actually do a lot of damage, which is unfortunate, but on normal mode, it can one-shot a lot of the flying Drox that the bird bots use. Okay, medicine bottle, hyper cartridge.
I do have to shout out Glide. I love him so much.
Oh yeah, he's one of my favorite characters in this game. Not quite in Misadventures, he's a little too zesty in that game, but here he's kind of grown up a little bit since he has to take charge of Loath's operation, so he's got the right amount of spice in this one, I'd say.
I think there's actually a black and white picture of Loath behind him in his ship in one of the cutscenes.
Uh-huh.
So like I don't know if it's just an Easter egg or if it's this implication that Loath has died or something.
Oh.
I always still think he's more like he's still in prison in like Ryship Island and from Misadventure of Trombone. That's my canon.
So here we also see why it was okay for me to get the Buster Cannon, because I have to go back to develop the adapter plug anyway, because I'm gonna do a no damage strategy for the jellyfish bosses, just to show them off, because normally the strat is you kind of damage boost through them with stun mechanics, rail arm stuff, and it's all very technical and messy. Like, it's definitely not the intended way of beating them, so for entertainment's sake, I'll beat them a more traditional way, and that will require the adapter plug for the strongest buster I can manage at this point. Yep. Also,
this winds up being, I was gonna say, and this winds up being a balancing act of not just being full on attack because you want enough rapid to be able to do enough damage quickly enough.
Exactly.
How much does energy play into this?
Almost nothing. You see, all energy does in this game is dictate how many shots can be at the screen at once. But the problem with that is that if you're on sufficient range and you're blasting down like a big enemy, all the shots are disappearing pretty quickly anyway. So it doesn't really actually do anything unless you're shooting an enemy from very far away, which you almost never want to do because you want to be pumping power to blast down enemies as fast as possible, especially since your damage scales exponentially in this game. So it's 8 damage at first at base, then it's 10 with +1, 12 with +2, then like 16 with +3, 20 with +4, 24 with +5, and 32, then 40 at max attack. So it's crazy how much bang for your buck you get from the power stat. And with the stutter stepping trick, you don't really need rapid until very late in the game either. So it just kind of ends up being where the only stat you actually need to pump most of the time is power.
People say the Nino ruins are the hardest in this game. Well, I simply say the S class, like bigger license, simply says, "Hold my beer." My eyes.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
That moment when you're a kid and you're like, I can do the max level digger's license. I'm really good at this, and then you just get your pride handed to you.
Although it's probably for the best that they locked it off, that they made it so hard to get it, because like, how many little kids do you think want to be staring down that mammoth with a health bar bigger than Sarah's? I know I wouldn't have.
Yeah, it was for our own good.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the track here. The music in this ruin just goes so hard.
It does. It's one of the reasons why this is one of my favorite dungeons in the series, despite some controversial underwater stuff.
I love that. I
See
love
what
how
I mean.
diplomatic you put that.
I always see like it feels like it gives you like the feel like you're like trying to run in a swimming pool type vibe. That's how it feels like in the ruins. That's just
I'm
me.
sure that's what they're going for.
It's just that we'll talk about it when we get there, but suffice it to say, I have words on the subject.
Well, and it's not like it's necessary slowdown. It's done in code, and it's my understanding is you can bypass it with game chart codes.
You can. So for what we're talking about, for you, the audience, this game typically runs at 30 frames per second, but to get the wave effect right when the rooms are flooded, the game devs decrease everything to 20 frames per second, so you only move at 2/3 of the speed. So that can be really hard to deal with. And in addition, the physics are a little different. So the jet skates, for example, go from nice but not necessary to basically mandatory if you want to move at any kind of decent speed at all. Like, this is how fast you run normally. All right,
Ellie.
moment of silence. Let's see if I can get the trick.
Now that this area is filled with water.
One,
Since things are
2.
lighter in water, you can pick up things you weren't able to before.
Yes! Ooh. That is so hard to do.
What did you just do? Oh, this? Wow.
What?
Yeah, if you get that just right, you'll confuse the game and it'll think you're standing in midair.
Amazing.
It's as unhappy with the physics here as we are.
Yep.
Yeah, the physical Japanese PSP version doesn't have slowdown here, and I haven't done it. I've got the codes. I have a Game Shark, but my understanding is you can turn the slowdown here off with codes.
You can. There's even a patch for it on like romhacking.net and all that.
I keep doubting you. I keep watching you just jet skate head first, barely dodging all these Reaver bots, and I am just positive that you are gonna eat it, and you keep surprising me.
That's practice makes perfect. By the way, you all can hear me just fine, right?
Mhm.
Nice.
Whatever happened to Skybane?
It's actually one of the reasons why I absolutely love running this game. Like, it makes you feel so cool when you pull all this stuff off.
I'm still here. I'm just letting you guys talk.
So, we're gonna drain the water so we can get an interesting jellyfish boss fight. It's slightly faster to beat the jellyfish when the room is dry versus when it's wet, due to the whole 20 frames per second thing. And also it lets me pick up this treasure chest a bit faster as well. Ouch. See, that one, it's just kind of behind a corner, so hard to dodge that one. There. There you go.
It heard me giving you praise.
Yes, it did. Mega Man Legends 2, it has a habit of putting me in my place sometimes. Or Leighton can attest to that in our practice stream yesterday.
Yes. We all were able to get up till glide space, and everything just went downhill.
Yeah. That is the tombstone of many a prospective speedrun. Okay, let's get our Buster parts on.
My headcanon for all these times where Roll is starting to say something, but she gets cut off because you're speedrunning, is she like sees on her display that you're about to go into a trap or there's an enemy or something, and she starts to tell you about it, but then she sees you have just zoomed right past it.
Like, oh, okay.
She's just quietly giving up. Oh, Mega Man, look out for the... Never mind.
So funny.
Well, the jellyfish don't look beautiful out without the water.
She kind of does it out of habit at this point. Like, it's kind of the same thing to where, like, where in 5 Islands and in Legends 2, she offers to go with you into the dangerous ruins and islands, and Mega Man has to be like, no, you kind of get in my way. Like, oh, okay.
I do like that
Like,
she does still just do that a bunch.
But...
I do like that she does still just do that a bunch in 5 Islands anyways. I don't know if I like it. It does make me laugh. It does amuse me.
Yeah. Well, these things always sort of go a little past you, then circle around to hit you in the back. So if you're more diligent about being close to the wall than I was when I got hit, you can just sort of make these things splat against the wall and easily dodge them that way, but I got a little carried away.
You were keeping track of them really well.
Yeah,
though.
you're kind of doing figure 8 when a Buster only strategy for these bosses. Like, it looks like a bullet hell, but it's actually not that bad. And fun fact, if you're going through retro achievements and you're trying to get a no damage fight on this boss, you can actually respawn all of these guys by leaving the room. Yes, you can actually leave the room before you KO these guys. Going up a floor, then going back down, re-entering this room, and you get another shot at them.
More zenny out of this?
And they're just not giving you enough time to stand in front of them and use the drill arm.
Oh no, it does. It's just a matter of range.
I need to spare that drill energy for the final boss fight, if you know what I mean.
I'm reading what looks like a key, Mega Man. Do you see it?
Okay, now to re-raise the water level.
That's how useful Roll gets to be in the ruins. She gets to point out an item that just dropped that is right in front of you.
Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, it's not like she can do much else from where she's at.
I do always enjoy the dialogue between them when I am actually playing through the game. Especially all the little bits of like world lore here and there, their history. And I don't know, like it's somewhat comforting. You know, there's not another character tagging along with him actually in the ruins, but it does feel nice having her there just being supportive.
Yeah. Even if all she's doing is reading, it's always nice to hear her soothing voice. Which I think it helps with the charm of her character too. It's just like, I think Tracy Ryan, she does such a good job voicing Roll.
She does.
Like, really, the voice cast for this game in general is just incredible. Especially for the era this was in, back when Capcom was still dubbing other games like X4 in Japan. Like, they were too cheap to even hire a dedicated dubbing studio.
And so for the Legends games, like they have like sound like really good voice acting. Like for at least for Saturday morning type cartoon or anime, like you see in that back in that day.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like the Legends games, like the characters, the look, and the sound, these feel like characters and cutscenes and interactions that could come right out of a 90s anime, and I love that.
Hey guys, real quick, I gotta head out now. NerDad should be in here shortly to pick up my hosting duties, so give him a good welcome when he comes in. But for me, I gotta split for the time being. Gotta make like a banana and split, as they say. So, good luck with the run, folks, and I hope you all
See you,
All right.
Skybane.
Great chatting with you.
Yep, see you
You
around the
as
block.
well.
It looks
No,
like
that's
there's
not what the
another
line
little
was.
thing on the wall
It
there,
says,
too.
do you see anything you could use to stand on? Do another take there. There we are. Okay, to dodge this guy, do not go left, go right. It sort of starts its attack to the left, so if you go left, it'll hit you with those flame bubbles. Yep. See those blue fish? If you shoot them, you lose 500 karma.
What?
Regular fish?
Yeah, totally. The
Didn't know
same that you lose for shooting the kids on Calbania.
Plus you wanna-
Fortunately, yeah.
Sorry, Ed, continue.
Fortunately, they're very good at dodging. They'll kind of speed out of the way if you try to shoot them. But you can hit them, and you'll suffer karma loss if you do.
Unless you're like hungry for fish.
Well, too bad. You should have enjoyed the fried chicken that you got from the base.
That chicken is delicious.
By the way, did someone mention that Blue Metal would join us at some point?
Yeah, I remember like
I don't remember
There's a
if
door
Blue Metal would
very
be joining
high
us,
up
but
on
it
the
does
wall
look
next
like
to the
NerdDad
box about where
is
you
in the
can
chat.
live.
Or is in the room with us.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just snuck in the back door, don't mind me.
hello.
Hello there.
How is Mega Man Legends 2 going? I hope it is going very well. Chat,
It's
are you
going
having a good
very
time with
well.
this run? I heard
I
we
have
can't
not
get
died.
we can't have fish for dinner. That's a shame. I like fish.
Yeah, you're a bad person if you do that.
Ah.
Don't do that.
I guess I'm a bad
Well,
You'll
at
person.
least in
make
the
your
Legends,
skin
It would-
black.
According to Mega Man Legends 2, be just as bad as eating children, so...
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive. It's
Almost as-
outrageous.
Alright, so when we enter this room, Roll says that it's not going to attack me, but if you watch one of my practice runs, it actually is possible to get damaged by it if you jump into it wrong. No, it's not giant, it's more medium-sized.
There's a giant reaper box
I guess
in
our
the middle of that
scanners
room.
are off.
Huh? It doesn't look like it's going to attack you, though.
Great
Hey,
idea.
I've got an idea. Why
I always
don't you
liked the
jump
idea
into that reaver bot's
of there
back?
being a Reaverbot or some Reaverbots that are just non-aggressive.
Okay,
Just true.
good.
I also remember there's like some few robots that actually would give you zenny right in front of you. Makes you wonder, since Mega Man happens to be a purifier unit, makes you wonder like those robots actually identify him. See, they see he's like familiar to them or not.
Maybe.
On my scanner, I can see what looks like a key on top of it. Can you see it?
Like much in the later ruins, you'll see like some robots will come at you and not to attack you, but just like spit out zenny right in front of you, like
Those are called the anger bots. Oh, hi,
Really?
Data. What's up? Yeah.
My only downside about this Neo ruins is that I wish there were more like long, very long jumps, like aside from this one you had dealt with. There's Claymore.
That's like the one attack that could possibly get me. But oh well, we're good. Now, you all gotta be very forgiving of Claymore. He's a little old, though his
has a
eyesight
bad
isn't what
back.
it used to be.
He's got a bad back.
His
Yeah.
back acts like a turret. Not bad
Yeah,
for
if
an
I
old man.
wanted to, I could do that for both versions of the fight, but the second time we fight him, I'm gonna do it Buster only. Just give him a chance, you know what I mean? Like, there's 3 bosses, including him, that I'm gonna do Buster only, just so they can actually show off some of their attacks instead of being flattened in 8 seconds. Just for entertainment's sake.
Giving him a fighting chance.
Yeah. It'll make things a little more exciting for the viewers back home. Yep.
Those who are watching the stream right now, my name is like Layton Puzzle 27, aka John. I'm happy to be like a user on Mega Man Wiki who does like some Mega Man Legends 3 Devermentary pages.
Go ahead and check those out if you're interested. I'll be glad you did.
A nice little like piece of history like being preserved. Also,
I do like to read through those. I have read through a bunch of them before.
I'm still on I'm almost done with part 6 on the Bon Mecha, like on the Japanese Devermentaries. It's just all that's left is to add some pictures and part 6 will be done. And I'll simply would do the final 2 parts of the 8 series of Bon Mecha entries.
Now here I could have gotten this earlier, but I wanted to wait until the water was drained so I could save a tiny bit of time there. Don't worry about those passages, they don't contain anything. Believe me, that has tripped me up once or twice.
So you know one thing? that I do like about Mega Man's design in this, and it's kind of the drill arm is what's making it stand out, but it's true even when you don't have the drill arm. The little backpack that they add onto his character model in Mega Man Legends 2, I really like the backpack, and I think it's more than just, oh, we have to give a new outfit for the second game so that we can, you know, like, I don't know, like make new toys for it or whatever. I see it, and it feels very much to me like intentional character design, especially on older systems like this. It can be very easy to lose track of your character on a screen, especially a character in this case that is mostly one color, especially if you're in an area that's mostly that same color. And his backpack, of course, is orange. It is the contrasting color to blue. It's on the opposite side of the color wheel. So no matter what kind of environment you're in, you're pretty much guaranteed for one of those to still be able to easily stand out and help you always keep track of where he is, even if it's dark and mostly blue area. That I see things like that, and that feels like such a small thing. That feels like such good character model design to me. I really love that.
I was gonna say,
I-
in this game, it really looks like they tried to make him look older, like time had passed, because he looks taller and like more slender.
Yes.
Whereas in Mega Man Legends 1, not that he was like chunky, but he definitely had that more like square body design like classic Mega Man has. And in this one, he has a bit more of that taller, almost Mega Man X design. Like he looks taller, looks older, like a Mega Man, you know, is maybe like a young teenage kid, like 13, 14, whereas X is like, you know, 20, 21, 22 age approximation, right? And so Legends 2 design, he looks notably different compared to the 1 design. And then, yeah, like you said, the orange backpack on the back, I think is a really good
Oh,
bit of
interesting
detail for
thing
that,
about
too.
Claymore, if you get directly behind him, he's almost never going to use... There's a lot of more dangerous attacks like the Destructo Disc that he's not going to use. He also fires slightly differently if you're behind him versus if you're in front. If you're in front of him, he'll sometimes do this things where he shoots where you're going to be instead of where you're at. Like he shoots ahead of where you're running. Doesn't do that if you're directly behind him, so if you're trying to do this damage list, you'll always want to be behind him. Ugh. Good thing for me, I dropped the whole damage list thing before starting the marathon, so there you go.
You called his one attack the Destructo Disc, and that did immediately make me look at all of his other attacks, like Dragon Ball Z attacks, and he really is ripping off a bunch of them.
I love the Destructo Disc. It's so cool.
I have a question for you, for everyone on this chat. Has anyone, like during the Mega Man Legends 3 Deverman contest, have you guys ever entered any of the Deverman trees in contest or not?
I don't recall. I know I voted on stuff. I don't remember if I entered anything. It was so long ago. I don't think I did. I know I voted on stuff.
Yeah, I have not, no.
Okay, so Nino Ruins is now behind us. We have now officially completed the first half of the game, I would say. We'll now enter the second half where things get a little interesting regarding enemy balancing and all that. My theory has always been that they intended for you to play the first half of the game with the A license and the second half with the S license, because enemy hit point totals don't really increase all that much as you go through the game, even though the amount of damage you can do increases dramatically. Like here, the best you can do is like 20 damage with your buster shots. But after this, it jumps up to 40 because you can max out your attack rating. You have the adapter plug, and you can also get a lot of rapid. So you just slay enemies a lot faster in the second half than in the first half. So I have always thought that the first half, they assumed you were on a lower difficulty, and then the second half, they thought you would bump it all the way up to S in order to enter the Salcata ruins. What do you all think about that?
I don't know. This feels like at least some of it is just, this is a hard system to balance. You've got different difficulty settings, and then kind of like you were explaining earlier, you're layering on top of that the different possible digger licenses that you might have. And then on top of that, you also could be coming in with very different loadouts of your buster parts and very different levels of strength in your special weapons, depending on how much you've decided to grind things out. So like, I've thought about this before. I'm like, man, I don't know how they would guess really even where you're at this point.
Okay, hold on a minute. I have to get the ground crawler real quickly. Sorry for the small time sink.
I think when you look at games that are created like this, you know, where there are like a license type of system, and there's also equipment that can be increased in power level, or you can get better or whatever. I think that the difficulty tends to be built towards the most linear path that you can take through the game.
Yeah.
Because I think they assume a vast majority of the players will just story beat to story beat to story beat, so long as they're not like absolutely banging their head into a wall, right? Because not everybody is prone to exploration, right? And not everybody may have the skill set required to achieve some of the things that get you some of the better equipment, or clear some of these dungeons, or do these quests, or do whatever. And so I feel like not necessarily that it's geared towards the lowest common denominator, but I think it's going to be geared towards just the content that has to be completed for the game to be completed. Does that make sense? And so like, they're not really going to count the difficulty curve based on optional stuff, because it is optional, right? And if they made the difficulty spike based on optional, it is no longer optional. It is not required content in order to complete the game. So,
see, I forget that probably not everyone does a bunch of, like, gets everything they can get in a ruin. It's not that I don't know, it's not that I would consider myself completionist with some of these things. It's more that, like, oh, I see a hall that I haven't gone down yet. I have to go there. What if there's something? Like, I'm compelled to. And I know not everyone will do that. Nope. But I love that Legends rewards you for that.
For sure. Well, and think about this too. Like, what was the release year for this one, for Legends 2?
Is it 2000 or?
Okay, so right at the tail end of, but still in the era of Blockbuster, and you could rent a game. And so there was a bit of design choice that went into games that were like, okay, if people can't afford to buy the game, but they can rent it for the weekend at, you know, Blockbuster.
Normally I would destroy this guy, but I want to show something off, so I'm just going to leave it for now, just so you know.
And do a cool backflip underwater.
Luckily, those are like flamethrower like beaver bots, and thankfully, because they're underwater, well, they just like blow very hot bubbles. Really painful ones at that.
It looks pretty cool though. The red bubbles.
Funnily enough, have their own unique damage numbers. They do a little bit less than the typical flamethrowers.
At least, like,
now, I don't know how those notes survived being underwater, but that's technology, I guess. And I don't know how those treasure chests are just sprinting through the water like it's nothing. Such a technology is incredible, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Those mimics are evil. Those, at least one time playing through this game, every time I play through it, at least one time, I will forget that one of them is a mimic, and it will scare the life out of me.
Is there an obvious spell for what's a mimic and what's a chest in this game?
You don't know. That's the scary part.
So there is no tell, it's just a guess. Until you
Correct.
get
I
prize
think that
enemy
they're in the
places.
same spots, but you have to remember, if you're playing it fresh,
Yeah.
I don't think there is.
So you don't get the Dark Souls benefit of chain in or chain out.
You get a very unpleasant surprise.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Okay. Our razor, our blaster. There we go. This boss is specifically what I bought everything for. That way, it wouldn't take too long to grind them all down. Because the ground crawler, it's good, but it's not perfect. Can't do everything.
Do their
And it'll
projectiles
help
last
for
longer when
future.
you're underwater?
I have no idea.
It feels like they are.
Might just be because of the frame rate stuff, but
Yeah,
it's
maybe it's just
possible.
because they go slower, so it's not like it's how far they've traveled is how long they stay out.
I definitely like the jellyfish Reeboks, like when they're underwater. They look beautiful, like transparent and glow. It's really nice, neat effect.
They did some really, really cool Reaverbot designs for Legends 2. I was digging through some concept art for Legends 2 a while back, and they had a bunch of really cool ideas that didn't wind up seeing like the actual game, but some of them looked really, really cool.
Ooh.
So for these guys, once only one is left, it'll go invincible for long periods of time. So you want to make sure to damage the last two equally, so you don't have to deal with that too much.
I think you'll like those Reebok entries of Mega Man Legends 3, the Neo Dev room, as well as like even the Tuttle entries as well, like Alex. So I think I may show them later. Maybe you can see for yourself which ones is your favorite.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I've looked at a bunch of them before. I like seeing these, even for things that didn't wind up making it into any one game or that wasn't in a game that we got to play. I like seeing the ideas that they had for them, what some of the concepts were that they had. It's fun to think about how some of them would have played out, how it would have been to get to fight them and play against them.
I think that would make for like a pretty cool panel or something to do, like at the expo, right? Have a thing, go through the entries, talk about them, question and answer type of deal, and show it off to a bunch of people, and maybe even reach out for some extra info or some reach out to the actual dev team if you can find them on the internet somewhere and be like, hey, can I ask you about this? Or
That would be
I think it'd be
so
pretty neat.
cool.
I think that'd be pretty cool to do.
That would be the coolest.
I'd be happy to give you the link to those entries if you want, sir.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely. Next week my work schedule is going to be way less busy, so I plan on taking a look at them.
Oh, guys,
I'll
check this
put
out.
on
Check this
on
out.
your message board.
Check this out. Oh.
Super long.
That's what
jump?
happens when you don't beat it the first time and you try to be cute. Little Kaizo moment. It's stuff like that in the second half to where, like, I kind of wonder, did they have as much time to polish this half of the game as they did the first?
Yeah, maybe not.
Anyways, we've done all the side ruins. We are now doing story dungeons only from here on out. Yeah, back to the balancing thing. Now you mentioned that devs don't design games assuming you're doing all the optional stuff, and I think that's fair for a lot of games. For this one particularly, I feel like all of the strongest stuff is mostly buyable in shops. Like there's the asbestos shoes and the flame barrier items that are
Sure.
buyable now that completely negate half of what makes this upcoming dungeon so dangerous.
Right.
After this section, of course. And like they're not like in far-flung ruins, they're just in shops you can casually visit. So I feel like in this case, it's more not quite sufficient play testing more than anything.
And that, I mean, that's definitely like part of it too. You know, like I said, I think the idea is if you make the game playable with whatever the character is guaranteed to come across, whether that's like boss drops, if those are a thing, or, you know, obvious chests to grab in a dungeon, you know, then I think that you'll get a largely satisfied player base. And then you get players, you know, who probably are more like us, where we're like, every nook and cranny, every single dungeon, I want to touch it all, right? And so,
Yes,
you know,
touch it all.
Yeah,
We're ripping up
guaranteed
the carpet.
basically, like, I want to see the nuts and the bolts, right? So we're guaranteed to be overpowered halfway through the game and be good to go. But, you know, I guess I've seen enough people growing up where they play the game, like, they'll go through games like this, they won't buy a single thing in the shop. They just play the game. I'm like, there's like stronger weapons. They're like, oh, really? I was wondering why it took so long. And I'm like, yeah, you were supposed to be upgrading your equipment as you go. Oh, well, I got through it anyway. It's like, all right, good job, I guess. But like,
I have to remind myself, I'm like, I guess they're allowed to play the game and just like have fun like a normal person. Whatever, I guess.
I guess you could just be casual. Jeez.
I guess you could just enjoy it for the thrill of playing a game or whatever.
What's that
That's what I
like?
do.
What's it like just enjoying the game, huh? Tell me. I want to know. Yeah. No. And that's, again, like I said, I think that, you know, except, you know, you get exceptions, right? You get like the Dark Souls series, or you get games like Hollow Knight and stuff like that in that vein that's like, hey, we developed this game for people that want, you know, they are knowingly playing this game for maximum challenge. And
They want
so
to
if
suffer.
you're, yeah, and so like if that's not your style of a game, then guess what? You're not going to enjoy it. And that's fine, because not every game is for everybody. Right? And I think that's the other thing to remember too. And like, this is where, you know, sometimes people get upset about a game and they're like, oh, I wish there was an easy mode on this. And it's like, this might just not be a game for you. Like,
You know, I don't
force yourself to play the game if you're not having fun.
We've got a bleeding edge strategy for safely getting the statue even on very hard. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go.
I miss out the
believe
it.
hilarious
Go.
dialogue from Teasel.
I don't think of myself as someone that explicitly likes games that are super challenging just for the sake of being super challenging, but I do
Right.
like some games that are like that, and I love when a game manages to make me want to play it and enjoy it, despite the fact that it is just a super, super hard game. Stuff like Star Wars Fallen Order. I loved that, and even though it is like ostensibly a very like Dark Souls-ish game, which I'm not directly a big fan of,
Sure.
but I couldn't get enough of it. I wanted to play it on even the harder difficulties.
And I think like when you get a game like I love the Souls games, right? So I love them. I've played them all through multiple times. I've done Soul Level 1 runs, like I've done the whole kit and caboodle, right? I love this stuff. And I like it personally, right? Subjective take. Gaming, your gaming taste is subjective, right? Everybody's is. I love when a game makes me feel like I earned the credits at the end. And it doesn't have to be hard like Dark Souls for me to feel that. Like don't mistake that. But like Dark Souls does a really good job of, I feel so satisfied at the end being like, I did that. And so like, but not everybody wants that. Some people just want to play a game, get a cool story, see some neat stuff, or do cool power moves, or do whatever it is and be done with it. And again, guess what? That's also perfectly valid, you know, sensibilities when it comes to wanting to play video games. And I love that we have such a breadth and depth of games, both classic and new, that allow us to cater ourselves to whatever experience it is that